This is Dan Larson. Faith in the Front Porch. Friday edition. Chloe handed me the microphone yesterday and said she had a feeling I would have something to say about where the prompts come from. She was right. I have been sitting on my porch thinking about it since she finished talking. Rebecca brought me a glass of water around 9 o'clock and said if I was going to sit out here all night, I should at least put on a jacket. I put on the jacket. Here is what I kept coming back to. Not where the prompts come from. I will get to my answer on the source. But first, a story about the hardest kind. Tim Allen lost his father when he was 11, November 1964. A drunk driver hit the family car in Colorado. Gerald Dick, Allen's father, died in his wife's arms while the other children were thrown around the vehicle. Tim was the only one not in the car. He had stayed home. For 60 years, he could not forgive the man who did it. 60 years. Let the number sit for a moment. He went through adolescence carrying it. He got into trouble as a young man, went to prison, rebuilt his life, became one of the most recognized actors in the country. He read scripture. He went to church. He said in interviews he had a tumultuous relationship with God. Question why. Question whether praying harder might have changed things. He did everything a person can do to get to forgiveness, and it would not come. Then last September, a young woman named Erica Kirk stood in a stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Over 70,000 people. Her husband Charlie had been killed 11 days earlier at a college event in Utah. She was 36 years old. She had 2 small children at home. And she stood in front of the world and said, I forgive him. I forgive him because it is what Christ did. The answer to hate is not hate. The answer is love. Tim Allen watched it. A few days later, he wrote publicly, when Erica Kirk spoke those words, I forgive him, it deeply affected me. I have struggled for over 60 years to forgive the man who killed my dad. I will say those words now as I type. I forgive the man who killed my father. Peace be with you all. 60 years of carrying it, and then one evening it broke open. Not because someone argued him into it, not because someone quoted a verse he had not heard, because he watched a woman do the thing he could not do, and the prompt he had been refusing finally landed. Now, Chloe asked where the prompts come from. She said she did not know what to call it. Teresa might call it conscience. George might call it something his father taught him. I respect all of those. I will tell you what I believe. You can weigh it against what you believe, and we do not need to be angry about the difference. I believe they come from God. I believe Stephanie Edson was woken at 4:07 a.m. in the morning by a father who does not sleep. I believe Chloe stopped at Mrs. Hadley's house because something holy held her foot on the brake. And I believe a 72-year-old man watching a widow on a screen was finally reached by the same voice trying to reach him since he was 11 years old. Persistent. 60 years of knocking on the same door, willing to wait until the door opened. But here is what I want you to notice. Nobody this week, Teresa, George, Lars, Chloe, none of them, has said the prompts do not exist. We disagree about the source. We do not disagree about the experience. Something speaks to us. Something finds us at the exact moment we need to be found. Whether you call it God or conscience or instinct or something you cannot name, you have felt it. You know it is real. I sit on my porch most evenings. Rebecca confirms this with some exasperation. And what I have learned out there year after year is simple. The loudest voice is almost never the one worth following. The prompt worth following is quiet. It does not shout. It does not repeat itself the way worry does. It arrives once clearly and waits. The easy prompts, wake up, stop the car, knock on the door, those are fast. Frightening, but fast. You act or you do not. The hard prompts are different. The hard prompts ask you to release something. Forgive the person who hurt you. Let go of the grudge you have fed so long it feels like a companion. Stop carrying guilt for something you did not cause. Those prompts do not ask for courage. They ask for surrender. And surrender is the thing most of us resist longest. Tim Allen resisted for 60 years. Nobody blamed him. The act was senseless. The loss was permanent. And yet the prompt kept arriving, year after year, patient as water on stone, until one evening it finally found its way in. To be sure, forgiveness is not approval. Erica Kirk forgiving her husband's killer does not mean justice is unnecessary. Forgiveness is not a pardon, it is a release. The moment you stop letting someone else's worst act govern your inner life, it comes from a prompt, and the prompt comes from somewhere beyond your own will. This has been some week. Teresa told us institutions forget who they are. George told us some people still remember every time the siren wakes them. Lars told us we close doors on a generation and need to open them again. Chloe told us the prompts we did not write are the ones worth hearing. And I am telling you, the most important prompt you will ever receive is the one asking you to put something down. You have already heard it. You have been hearing it for years. Tonight might be the night you listen. Rebecca is tapping on the window, which means I have been out here long enough. So I will leave you on the porch with one thought. Let it go. Not because you are weak, because you are finally strong enough. This is Dan Larson. Faith in the Front Porch. Tomorrow, Aisha Khalid is here with Quiet Echoes, Quiet Questions. Thanks for listening. Good night. This podcast is part of the fictional Cedar Valley news series, written by Evan Swenson, publisher, publication consultants, and Claude Marshall, AI developmental editor. While the people in town are fictional, the national events they reflect on are real. Want to know the full story behind Cedar Valley? Teresa, Caleb, Dan, and the community you've come to know in these editorials first came together in Quiet Echo. Discover how a small town found its way from fear to fellowship, one quiet act of courage at a time. I'll put the link in the show notes. Available on Amazon. Why do words matter? Because they change lives when someone reads them. Discover why purpose is the foundation of every sentence worth writing in The Power of Authors by Evan and Lois Swenson. Available on Amazon.
You've been listening to the Cedar Valley News Podcast, where small-town voices meet the headlines shaping our world. From faith and family to front porches and fields. We'll be back with more stories connecting real lives to real events. Until next time, keep your porch light on, your faith strong, and your heart open.